Welcome to episode 11 of the Kantan Gamer Cast. On this week's show, Square Enix announces a slew of new titles, Godzilla goes mobile, and we discuss our E3 Nintendo Direct predictions. All this and more coming up. Okay, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's episode 11. It's very exciting times. And yeah, how are you doing today, Ryan?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good as always. So just a little plug before we get the show started. Make sure that you've listened to the show, guys. You follow me on Twitter at Kantan_Japan. And yeah, also if whichever platform you're listening to the show on, it would really help us out if you left us a rating, or if you even have some extra time, leave us a review to let us know how you're enjoying the show and any feedback so we can make some changes. But yeah, that's enough information for everybody. What have you been playing this week, Ryan?
I've been playing Famicom Detective Club, the Missing Heir.
Oh, is this the other one that you
no, it was the
you were playing last time.
Same one. I finished it though, so
okay.
I just got to the end of it. It's pretty happy with it.
How long did that take you, roughly?
I'm not exactly sure, but not so long. I think less than 10 hours, probably.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I'm not sure. Maybe it was more. I was getting kind of into it, so I sort of lost track.
Okay.
I was playing in Japanese, so I stopped a lot to check my dictionary. But it's about as long as it would take to read like a short mystery novel.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It kind of had that feel of like being like a Stephen King book or something.
Okay, yeah. I guess if it's like, it's a remake of an old NES game, and back in the day, games tended not to be that long, right? So unless they add a lot of new content, maybe it's that also might be the reason.
It was plenty long enough for me though. I feel like it was enough time to develop the characters and like tell the story in a pleasing way. But yeah, I'm really happy about it. That's one of the first games I finished playing all the way through in Japanese. So I was feeling kind of good about being able to make it through that. So
yeah, that's nice. Cool. So how was the ending of the story? Like, obviously don't tell me what happens, but were you satisfied with the conclusion? Was it a good story overall?
Yeah, definitely. Like it starts out pretty strong, and then in the middle, it's a little bit weak. I almost stopped playing. But I'm really glad I stuck around for the end, because the middle portion of the game is like really setting up all these things for a big conclusion. So like they're kind of introducing all these characters and items and things. And at first I was thinking like, oh, what is all this stuff? But then in the end, it all kind of comes together in a really satisfying way. But how about you? Have you been playing this week?
Yeah, a little bit. I've been playing more Fantasian, which is really good actually. I'm getting more into it now, because at first I was just like playing it to check it out, just for the sake of playing it, but then like once I got into like the story a little bit, and I realized the combat's a little bit more interesting than just like your regular like turn-based combat. That was pretty cool, and I'm still kind of developing, like, I haven't really learned all of the elements of the combat yet, so it's still kind of teaching me new stuff. But the story is pretty cool, yeah, so I'm quite enjoying that. And yeah, I downloaded and played Ni no Kuni Crossworlds, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so playing it on the iPad, which is probably the best way to play that game, I believe. I believe it's like the most powerful device that will run that game. So it's like the best way to like crank all the settings up to max. But it looks lovely. It's really smooth. It's really nice. It's very similar to the main games if you've played them already. And once you've got through like the overall like introduction tutorial part, then it drops you off in this town called Evermore, which I believe is the main city from Ni no Kuni 2. And yeah, so basically you just kind of start your MMO quest from there, and you get given a few like main quests, but then it says like, oh, you can go off and do some side quests and stuff.
That's great, man. I just downloaded it on my phone, so maybe I'll hop in there over the next few days and check it out.
Yeah, man. And you can play it online as well, so maybe we should try playing it, do a little quest together or something, do some raids.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
cool.
anyhow, yeah, well, cool. Sounds like we've been having a good week of gaming, and it's only going to get better with the E3 stuff coming up.
Yeah, so for our news this week, we don't have any kind of major news because we're kind of in the middle of E3. So there's stuff like happening all over the place, but I guess we're going to like save all that for next week. You know, we'll cover the big topics, but we got a few little stories, and because it still hasn't happened yet, I mainly want to talk about like predictions for Nintendo Direct because I think that's probably what me and you are both most excited for, right, Ryan?
Yeah. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. So this episode will hopefully, with all good intention, be live before that happens. So if you are listening to this, then make sure you come over to the channel and join me. I'm going to live stream the Nintendo Direct. It's going to be 1 a.m. here on the 16th of June in Japan, but I think it's like the 15th in most other countries, and the time depends. But yeah, so our first story of the week is a new bit of merch being released by Square Enix, which looks excellent and is very necessary, especially with this summer heat impending. It's a new ice cube tray.
Ooh, nice.
But it's in the shape of the Cloudbuster from Final Fantasy VII. So
that's so cool.
You get this like little tray, and I guess it comes with like 3 slots. But even has all the etching on the side of the sword, so it looks quite like good detail. And then so when you get them out, it looks like this. But that looks kind of crazy.
Wow.
It almost looks like glass, right?
Yeah, that looks a little better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I've got a suspicion that is the mold that they used to make the other mold, you know. So that's like the plastic one they made, because that looks too perfect. I've never seen ice that looks that good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like the bottom of the ice. Like, is in that molded shape. I don't know. We'll have to buy one.
Yeah. I'm kind of tempted, right? But yeah, like, so you get the ice cube out, and it looks even cooler when you put it in the drink, right? So check this out. So, so it's kind of standing out in the drink, right?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's like I thought it would be like, a tiny one, but
yeah, exactly, right. So I was thinking, like, because it's got like a little handle like a sword, right? So you could maybe like pour some like juice in there, or maybe and then turn it into like a little popsicle.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But the handle might melt, so you have to kind of eat it quickly. But yeah, we got it there in some water, and then if you're feeling a bit more mature, you maybe have a little whiskey here.
Oh yeah, whiskey. I like ice in my whiskey.
That's it. Yeah, a little bit of ice is always good. So yeah, that's like the set, right? I think actually maybe that's not whiskey, maybe that's like tea or something. But
oh yeah,
it's definitely. Imagine if you went to a bar and they served you that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. That's a good idea for like any kind of themed bar, like to have the ice be like molded into these shapes.
Yeah. But I just thought the sword particularly was quite funny. It's like an official like Square Enix like release. And
okay. It looks like something that a fan would make.
It does actually. Yeah, it's surprisingly good, right, for a main piece of merch.
Yeah, this is very interesting though. I've never seen like ice related game merch.
Yeah, there's always a first time for everything,
Yeah, that's pretty fun. It would be fun to like try and make your own like mold shape.
Sure, yeah.
Like to make different game stuff.
I'm sure there is. I've seen if you go to the Nintendo store in Shibuya, they have like a whole section. It's called like Mario at Home, maybe, or Nintendo at Home or something like that. And they sell like plates, and they sell like ice cube like molds and stuff, like little Mario hats or like question mark blocks. But they sell like loads of like bunting, for like kids' parties. You can like put like streamers and like they sell loads of stuff. It's really cool. But yeah, it's almost not a story, but I just loved how cool it was, and I kind of want to buy it. So
yeah, that's good to share with everyone though. Like I love this kind of unique good stuff.
Yeah. But so yeah, I guess on top of that, right, we also had a Square Enix event yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think so. Was it last night?
I'm not sure of the exact time, but I know it happened within the last 24 hours.
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it, but I was reading about all the different announcements, and Square Enix is announcing a lot of mobile stuff.
Mm.
It's been really heavy on the mobile games.
Yeah, so actually, I did see this trailer on Twitter earlier. So let's take a look at this. This is a Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. But I'm not sure. I didn't catch. Oh, it's PS5. Yeah, so I wasn't sure what platform it's going to launch on. But yeah, let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
I imagine if it's PS5, it's going to look incredible, especially if it's using the same engine as FF7 remake.
Mm.
Oh, Team Ninja. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
What were the other games that Team Ninja made?
Oh, Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they made Metroid Other M. They made loads of games, but Team Ninja Gaiden is what they're mainly famous for. Interesting. So this is going to be like a hack and slash kind of game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is this a totally new announcement then?
I believe so. Yeah. I'd not heard of it before. I don't know if people who are really into Final Fantasy, they might have heard like rumors of it before, but I don't follow the series that closely. But yeah, it's the first time I've heard it.
Because a few episodes ago, we kind of had a Final Fantasy special where we talked about like all the different Final Fantasies.
That wasn't mentioned though. That they had First Soldier, was it? There was FF7 Intergrade and Ever Crisis.
And this one wasn't.
I don't know. I don't think it was, because those three games are all like connected to FF7, but this is completely separate.
Oh, okay.
So this has a very like Devil May Cry vibe to it.
Yeah. This looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit different than your typical Final Fantasy.
Graphics aren't as good as I was hoping those.
Yeah.
Looks a bit.
Looks like an Xbox 360 kind of.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? Yeah. It might be PS4 as well, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess the characters look a lot better. Like the faces and stuff. But these we're seeing a lot of these big Japanese series like crossing genres. Like Yakuza became JRPG, and Dragon Quest it is becoming darker, and now we've seen Final Fantasy, like they're doing this is like a hack and slash, and they also had the Final Fantasy it was like a battle royale. Do you remember what was that one called? You just said it earlier.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it was Final Fantasy.
It was First Soldier.
First Soldier, yeah. So like, it's interesting. All these big companies are just, like it's mostly Square, isn't it? Like Square Enix is doing a lot of shifting their titles around. Trying new gameplay for them.
Yeah, and
it's a cool way to keep stuff fresh.
Yeah, definitely, and it's cool to see like collaborations with other studios as well, right? Because this is Team Ninja and also Koei Tecmo, who make the Dynasty Warrior games, and they also made like Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors and stuff. So that's cool, and Square Enix obviously is a developer, but they're also a huge publisher, right? So they have a bit more flexibility to like employ other studios to kind of help them out with these, kind of like smaller side games. But yeah, it says on the screen here, it's going to be PS4 and 5 and Xbox One and Series X PC, coming in 2022. So that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, very interesting one.
And there's just also this, I guess it's not really Japan related, so we don't need to go into it too much, but I was kind of excited to see a Guardians of the Galaxy game get announced. Because that's probably one of my favorite Marvel movies as a whole. But I just hope it doesn't follow suit of like the Avengers game, because I heard that was pretty underwhelming. that was also made by Square. Yeah, so let's check out the trailer for this.
Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this game actually, so this is kind of exciting. Oh, Platinum. Yeah, that's always a good sign. Right. It's always a good sign to see. I don't think I've ever played a bad Platinum game.
Yeah, I was just playing Astral Chain the other day. I just played it for like an hour or two, and I was just thinking like, man, this is a lot better than I remembered it.
Yeah,
Like it has
they're really cool. Yeah,
I feel like each game kind of is a development on what they've already done. Like you can see them like reusing certain ideas and like developing on the ideas they've already implemented in previous games.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's just really cool how all the games kind of tied together, like in a sense of like the gameplay mechanics and stuff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, they all follow the same kind of suit, right? They're always like kind of like third-person, very fluid like combat games, right? But then they all kind of adopt like the new mechanics that they developed from previous games. But this is okay. So this looks like some almost like Monster Hunter style. Interesting. This looks cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell just from watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Exactly like what the gameplay is going to be like. But we're seeing this like kind of medieval style with like almost a Monster Hunter-esque.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's four-player team-based combat. You've got like a spellcaster, there's like a warrior, there's a guy with a hammer. So like it's got the kind of like comically large like Monster Hunter weapons, that kind of vibe. But it's almost got like a Final Fantasy like European aesthetic. Almost a little bit Dark Souls as well, I want to say. It's a bit of a mix of everything, yeah. Looks cool though.
Quite as realistic as that, but still,
did you see that? That little like grappling hook? They definitely stole that from Monster Hunter. Check this out. Little hook shot.
Oh yeah.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This looks like heavy Monster Hunter influence. But that's cool. Did you have a chance to play any of the Monster Hunters?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit before, but yeah, played Monster Hunter Try, was it called, on the Wii U. I got into that quite a bit when I had it, because it was like one of the only decent games out at the time on the Wii U, and all my friends had it, so we played it online quite a lot.
Yeah, but I'd like to try Monster Hunter Rise, because it's been such a huge hit in Japan. But I don't know, I'm not quite sold on it, because just don't think I have enough time.
It's a huge investment of time, isn't it? It's kind of, especially as an adult, it's hard to like kind of dedicate that much time to that.
Yeah. But I like to just like check it out and look at the trailers and things. But,
sure.
But anyway, Babylon's Fall is looking really good.
That looks cool, yeah. And then there's another thing here, which again I saw some like teasers of on Twitter, but I didn't really get to check out the trailer. So we got Pixel Master, Final Fantasy Pixel Master.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see. This is a very short 30-second trailer. So let's see what happens. So I don't know if it's just like a collection. Games that inspired a generation. The origins of the Final Fantasy series return in the ultimate 2D pixel remaster. 6 tales of epic adventure. 6 masterpieces to bridge the ages. That's pretty bold.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's cool, and I'm wondering what the these remastered graphics are looking like. Like I saw this trailer on the stream, but like my internet was making it look more pixely than intended.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it looks like so on the end screen here we can see that it's saying basically Final Fantasy 1 to 6 coming soon on Steam, Apple Store, and Google Play. So it's going to be mobile games and on PC. But yeah, so I'm kind of curious about this Pixel Master because yeah, like these games are already on Android and stuff, right? And and they've been re-released on like the DS before and other consoles.
I think some of the Androids are already pixel remastered.
I believe so, right? They're not like 3D or anything.
So there's like a few of them that are like emulated, I think, and a few that are like they just use like more detailed sprites. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shitty looking like clip art ass, art style. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to know what's going on because the trailer is just like a teaser. They just flash up a bunch of pictures of the game, the old games or the original versions. So I don't know. But yeah, so it looks like Square announced a bunch more stuff, some NieR stuff, another Final Fantasy game, Life is Strange as well. But yeah, we don't want to spend the whole episode talking about Square Enix. So if you want to catch all that news, then I'm sure you'll be able to find it somewhere online. So let's jump into our next story. What do we have here, Ryan?
Yeah, so for our next story, it's some NieR related news, which I've been into, as some of you know.
Yeah.
So Mediatonic, the developers of Fall Guys, have announced at the digital event Summer Games Fest, they announced that in Fall Guys, some NieR Automata collaboration costumes are coming to the game on June 18th. So from June 18th, you'll be able to play as 2B, the sexy main character from NieR Automata. And as you can see here in our screenshots, she's not looking so sexy in
She's
Fall Guys.
rather rotund here.
Yeah, but I love this collaboration. It's just hilarious.
It's very goofy, yeah. So we've got the trailer here, right? So yeah, let's check this out.
Yeah, she's looking quite interesting.
That's the one thing I like about like skins, right? Because it's getting quite popular recently. It's like skins of like unrelated characters appearing in different games. You know, like Fortnite is doing it a lot, and you know, like Street Fighter will have like random characters and stuff. But they adopt like all the animations of like the main game that they're appearing in. So obviously 2B is like, yeah, like I say, she's like a really skinny like anime girl and like spins around and like does all these like agile stuff. And then here she's like a Fall Guys like blob man, just waddling.
Yeah, it's great, and I like how they like kept a lot of her design elements. Like she's got the mask over her eyes. And like you can see like her chest through the holes in her shirt, but there's no like breast. It's just flat like Fall Guys like body. You know.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because you know Fall Guys, they wear like that kind of round suit with like the round hole for their face, right? It's almost like a morph suit. So it looks like like if you look at this picture really carefully, she's wearing like a pink colored morph suit, and then the skin is a different color underneath.
Oh,
so like, so it's like a skin-colored Fall Guys character wearing this dress, which I think is kind of even more funny. But I love, I love the amount of detail, like thought that went into that.
Yeah, I love it. I was actually just playing NieR Automata last night. I was showing my friend, and yeah, it's cool to see like 2B has become kind of a sensation in the gaming community as this this cool character. Yeah, happy to see that. Not really big news, but just kind of a funny thing we wanted to show you guys. Yeah, I guess that's about all there is to say. Coming June 18th.
Yeah, not too much. And I mean, actually, kind of ironically was related to Square Enix as well.
Yeah.
She is a Square character, so nice one to round that story off. Yeah, so we've got another new game here actually, which I think I kind of missed initially. It came out on the 3rd of June. It's a mobile game called Run Godzilla, which looks pretty funny. So we got an article here from Sora News 24, which kind of brought it to my attention in the first place. But it's kind of like, from what I understand, it's like you raise the Godzilla, like your own Godzilla, and then you run him in like kind of horse race style Godzilla races.
Oh, okay. It
just sounds fucking mental.
Let's check out this trailer because I've got to see what this.
This so here's some gameplay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Captured on mobile, of course.
Yeah. So it's just going through. Let's skip through the tutorial. Let's try and get some gameplay. So from what I understand, it is that you have like Godzilla has these like followers, these like people who are like bowing to him, and I guess it's like kind of like that kind of like God thing where like the more people that believe in a God, the more power it has, right? So the people, people like pray to Godzilla to give him power and grow him. And then, this is the race. Actually, let's just go back a very brief second there. You could see, it's kind of hard to get the frame that I want here, right? So you see like there's some apples in the background, apple trees. And then there's like a chimney in the background, so like pollution. So apparently you like grow the trees and like grow apples to feed to Godzilla for some reason. Apparently he eats apples, but the pollution from the factory in the background can pollute the apples and like diminish your like crop harvest. So you have to like balance like these like resources, like people praying, but then also people tending to the trees, and then like this looks like a teepee, like a Native American teepee in the middle. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here. It's just an absolutely mental game. It's just odd.
Let's see, what does this race look like?
Yeah, so let's get back to the race here. So the Monsters 1,000 meter race.
So is he racing through a city?
No, it's like it's like a course, like a horse racing track. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, it's got like the original theme. Here we go. Ready?
Is he animated, or these are just like?
Oh, is that a Gamora? I think the one with the 3 heads, and Rodan. Yeah, the flying pterodactyl thing. This looks shit. Oh my god, this looks so bad.
What is going on with the frame rate here? This is like.
This might just be like a janky ass phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think regardless of the frame rate or whatever's going on with the phone, this just looks awful.
Yeah, this is a. Seems like a trash game here, but.
So like from what I understand, it's like you just kind of raise this Godzilla, and then like you just race him, and then like, that's kind of like that's it. Like you can't control him. But what I thought was funny actually, there's in this article, there's some tweets from like Japanese Twitter, kind of what people have been saying about the game. So one guy says, "I kind of love it. I'll probably be playing it for a while." And then someone else says, "The concept of let's raise Godzilla and make it race is so surreal it made me laugh. I played Godzilla Run for a little bit, but I couldn't help getting impatient because I wanted to destroy more stuff." I like that comment. Yeah, Run Godzilla. I thought it was going to be a crappy game, but actually a stupid game that's fun in its own way. So yeah, it looks like there's some pretty kind of funny comments. People are enjoying it.
Yeah, kind of a joke of a game, I guess, right?
It seems like that. I mean, just having like the TP and Godzilla in the same kind of like zone just seemed like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. But that's an interesting one though.
Yeah, absolute nonsense, and just something I wanted to recap on and come back to.
Run Godzilla,
yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, like I said, we're gonna kind of finish up with our news fairly quickly today, and then get onto some our predictions for the Nintendo Direct, which is going to be happening soon. From time of recording, it's in about 36 hours time. So
yeah, and I think we'll be live streaming it as well.
Yeah, so if you listen to this episode and you're subscribed to the channel, then make sure come along and join us for the live stream. So I guess what kicked this off really, I mean, everyone knew it was coming. They announced the live stream a couple of weeks ago, but they surprise dropped a new game last night. Yesterday, I guess it was nighttime in Japan, but daytime in America. But yeah, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a sequel to the 2017 Mario and Rabbids game, which really took me by surprise. I don't know how about you, Brian, but I was not expecting something like this to drop before, like the day before the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see some Nintendo news popping up outside of Nintendo. And this is Ubisoft, right? Yeah, Ubisoft
published, I believe, and they develop it as well. So it's basically just like they license the Mario characters, but that's probably why it wasn't in the Nintendo Direct. Ubisoft want to make their own announcements. So considering they handle most of the work for the game, I believe, anyway, then it makes sense that they would do that. But
the CGI parts look really good.
This looks incredible. Like the animation on the characters is so nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think you said you really enjoyed the original one, right? Yeah,
so I bought it on day release. I mean, originally, like, I never liked Rabbids as characters. I think they're just kind of gross. But when the Switch came out, this got announced and everyone was like, what the fuck is this game? But there was no like big games coming out, right? So I thought, after watching more of the trailers, and it had this kind of like XCOM you know, almost like kind of tactics kind of based combat. And so it kind of like interesting Mario with a gun, you know, it was kind of fun. So yeah, I bought it and yeah, I got really hooked on it and I completed it quite quickly actually. It was really fun. The combat's a lot deeper than I expected. So yeah, I don't know, I'm totally down for this. It was a really good game. But this one looks a bit more like grander in scale.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like they've even put the production value higher, you know.
Yeah. So the concept of the first, I kind of forgot what the story was, but like something happens where like the Mario characters get like sent into like a time machine portal, and then you get this kind of weird like The Fly. You know, have you seen that movie, The Fly, where the guy kind of goes and teleporter with a fly and he turns to like half a fly? It kind of like that kind of happens, and like the Rabbids kind of get like characteristics from all the Mario characters.
Yeah, they get like merged into each other and stuff.
Yeah, right. So even that's kind of like grotesque for a Mario game, right? But yeah, like I think Rabid Peach is probably everyone's favorite because she looks gross, but like she's a bit of like a bimbo. She's always got like a phone, like taking selfies and stuff. So it's really comical.
Yeah.
But the big takeaway from this trailer was there's now a Rabid Rosalina, so everyone's kind of excited for that.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't notice that.
Yeah. So she's there, yeah, in the middle.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, the Lumas as well, like the stars from Mario Galaxy, right? There seemed to be like an ice one and a fire one there as well. So that kind of looked interesting. It might be, I'd imagine they're going to add some new gameplay mechanics, you know, to the series.
That's cool. I like to see when Nintendo like lets other companies like use its franchises, like to make stuff outside of what could be made at Nintendo. Like Hyrule Warriors is like that as well, right? Or what's the new one called? Calamity, the Breath of the Wild one.
Oh, Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
That's Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it depends, like, kind of who has the idea. I heard from like an interview with Eiji Aonuma, who's like the current like director of the Zelda series. That he had the idea for the kind of Musou style game.
Okay. Oh wow.
I'm not sure about the original Hyrule Warriors, but what he said is like when he was thinking about the story of Breath of the Wild and telling the story of the past of the world, you know, when there was this great war, he thought like, wouldn't like a Musou style game fit that perfectly? So I'm not sure if like Bandai Namco originally approached Nintendo for Hyrule Warriors, but maybe after that was a pretty good success. Maybe Aonuma-san was like, well, actually, let's do it again and, you know, make it like with this like big battles and stuff. So yeah, that really worked out, right? Did you ever play Necromancer? It's like Crypt of the Necromancer or something like that.
I tried the demo a little bit. Yeah, I didn't get very far in it. But I thought it was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked that one. So that's got like the you know, Hyrule kind of edition, right? It's kind of weird, but it's set in Hyrule and it's got like almost like a Link's Awakening, like original Link's Awakening kind of vibe to it, that top down 2D stuff. But from what I'm aware, like the developers of that game, the original Dance of the Necromancer, Dance. I don't know why I keep saying dance. I think it's because it's like a rhythm game. It's got that beat going on.
Yeah.
But it's Crypt, isn't it? Crypt of the Necromancer. Or Crypt of the Necro Dancer. I don't know, I'm getting so hung up on the name. I just really can't remember what it's called. But they approached Nintendo with that idea. And I also saw an interview, I guess a while ago, before the original Rabbids came out, Mario Rabbids. And it was some small team at Ubisoft that put that game together originally. And then they took it to like Miyamoto himself. You know, they flew to Kyoto and like took it to him and said like, we think we can make this game with your characters. And apparently he loved it. He was like, yeah, let's do it. So
that's cool.
That's really cool, right? People always think of Nintendo as a bit of a rigid and almost a bit of a random company sometimes. There seems to be no logic in what they do or like who they let use whatever. But yeah, I guess if you've got a solid idea and you take it to them, then, you know, there's a good chance.
Yeah, that's cool. But I'm sure we'll have a lot more Nintendo-related game announcements coming up by tomorrow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's what we were about to get into, right? Was to discuss what we're expecting.
Yeah.
or
So
the direct?
yeah, I thought we could maybe like break this down into like some kind of categories. So for like predictions. So I thought we can maybe, I didn't really think about it too much, but maybe we can both choose one like most wanted. Like even if you don't think it's going to happen, just like what would you really love to see get announced? One would be kind of most anticipated sequel. So I guess we just had Rabbids, right? But that doesn't really count because we already know about that. But what game do you think will get a sequel that hasn't been announced already? And what's just like something wacky, just something really fucking weird that you predict?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it.
Because I'm always thinking about this kind of stuff. So I don't know, what category do you want to start with? Should we just let's start with the normal one? What's the most wanted game you'd love to see Nintendo announce tomorrow?
I don't think I'll see this, but I'd love to see F-Zero come back.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but as far as my most wanted, I think that would have to be it.
That's a good choice, actually. Yeah. As much as I kind of forget about F-Zero sometimes, whenever I play it, it's just so good, right?
Yeah, it's a great game, and I think Nintendo needs like an alternative to Mario Kart. You know, a little bit more serious racing game would be great for them.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I think for me, it would have to be Pikmin 4.
Oh, okay.
Which it has kind of been announced a long time ago that it's in development, but it never really got announced. They just said like, yeah, we're making it. Like I think it was on some like interview with Miyamoto like years ago. He was like, yeah, I'm working on Pikmin 4.
Oh wow!
But I still don't think it's been officially announced. Yeah,
I haven't actually played a Pikmin game before.
Oh my! You need to rectify that right now, man. Jesus Christ!
I've played almost every Nintendo franchise, with the exception of Pikmin. Is just one that I've never gotten to.
That shocks me to my very core.
Yeah.
I wish there was an eject button that I could just use to launch.
Yeah, maybe we need a little buzzer, for the show.
Like, what is it? Phoenix Wright, Attorney at Law. Objection.
Nice.
But yeah, I would recommend. Probably 3 is probably easiest for you to get hold of because it's on the Switch. But 1 is definitely my favorite. So if you can play 1, like the Switch, the Wii version with the pointer controls, then that's my recommendation. Yeah. So I'd love to see Pikmin 4. Would be very hyped for that. All right. So next up, let's go for most anticipated sequel. So it's a game, a game that you really enjoyed. I think of a game that you really enjoyed that you'd love to see a sequel to.
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna go with Fire Emblem because I really enjoyed Fire Emblem Three Houses. I played it a lot, and it had a few issues I thought, but I liked seeing Fire Emblem taken from like 3DS onto the Switch. It had some more modern features. It kind of struggled on the Switch a bit, like graphically, but like conceptually, like all these really cool gameplay mechanics were in there. Like for instance, you can zoom in on the battlefield at any point, and like it goes from being like the large size units, and when you zoom into like the actual size, you can see like hundreds of soldiers on the field. So I really liked that, and I thought like if they could integrate that better, it would be a nice addition to the series to be able to like have this kind of meta view, and then you can shrink in and like see the actual battling going on like a man-to-man sort of level.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never actually played it, so I didn't realize it had that kind of element to it.
Yeah, it was in there, but it was kind of like poorly executed. Like in the way, like graphically, the way that it worked, it's like hard for the Switch to show all of the character models at the same time. So there's a lot of like pop in and just like
I see. Yeah.
It looked pretty rough. So
yeah,
I'd like to see Fire Emblem come back. Yeah.
Maybe on some new hardware, We'll talk about potential Switch Pro rumors in a minute, but we'll go through our games first.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be cool, yeah. So actually, I think for mine's a bit more standard, but I'd just love to see a new Mario Kart game. Mario Kart 9, I'm just ready for the next Mario Kart. It's been like 8 years or something, like 7 or 8 years since we had new Mario Kart.
I'm pretty tired of Mario Kart 8. Like I almost can't play it anymore because I've just seen the tracks so many times, and
Exactly right, yeah.
whenever I start playing it, it's just like, oh man, like this is a good game, but like I've just seen so much of it, over the years, because it's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like the default game that people play when they get together.
Mm,
Like especially if you hang out with people who don't play games. Like
mm.
I think we were hanging out right the other
Yeah, yeah.
day, with wives and girlfriends, and of course Mario Kart is the game.
Well, that's
Uh,
I love the feature though that added in 8 because it was the first one in the series that had it. Was like the automatic steering. For like it's basically impossible to go off the edge of the course.
mm.
So I'm not saying all wives and girlfriends are useless, but like, ours aren't that great at America, right? But actually, your girlfriend beat you quite a lot on that night. I think
I was quite drunk.
yeah, you had a few too many wines, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's so good, right? Because it helps people feel really included, and they don't feel like it's like when you play Smash Bros. It's just futile, right? There's no fucking chance that you're gonna beat me. But with Mario
yeah.
Kart, like if I take a couple of blue shells at a bad time, then there's a good chance that they will beat me, right? Because they don't go off the course or whatever. They're just kind of like a bit sloppy on the steering. So I like
Mhm.
that, but yeah, I completely agree with the courses. I thought when they announced 8 Deluxe, I knew that all the content was just the old content, right? But what I really thought they were going to do is like set it up as like almost like a platform to like keep adding content to. And I just don't know why they didn't do it because they could have made like millions of dollars just selling like packs of courses. Imagine like
Yeah,
every 3 months since the game came out, which was about 3 years ago, every 3 months they could have dropped like a new cup with 4 courses and it's like
oh
$5.
wow.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
would
And
have
I would have bought all of them.
yeah,
They would have made another $60 from me, and it would have been
yeah,
very little effort for them. So I just think that was pretty sloppy. But because they haven't done that, I'm assuming that there must be a Mario Kart game coming soon.
yeah.
So
Well, and they already had DLC technically because like the original Mario Kart 8 was missing 4 cups, right? Like the
mm,
final 4 cups. So I'm not sure how many there are total, but like
mm.
if it was like 10 cups, like now it's 14 or something like that.
It did get some DLC. It got like the Animal Crossing level, and it got Big Blue from F-Zero. That was the closest
Yeah,
thing we had to a new F-Zero game in like
yeah,
15 years.
yeah, definitely.
And
So,
it got the Squid Inklings, the Squid Kids from
oh
Splatoon as well.
yeah, yeah, that's right. But anyway, yeah, next Mario Kart, I think it's got to be coming eventually. I'm not sure if we're gonna see it at this direct, just because like Mario Kart 8 is still selling so well, and I know
Mm.
everyone says that, but I don't know. I just can't imagine what they're gonna do with another Mario Kart. Like it would just it'll be more Mario Kart, right?
Yeah, but I'm
Um,
fine with that. I think they really perfected
oh,
the system. Like,
I heard a rumor that they're gonna do Nintendo Kart. So it's
that would also be fine. Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
think
Yeah.
that would be the best way to keep it fresh.
Mm.
Is like just throw in all of the franchises and make it like a Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
because
you could
everyone loves Smash Bros. Right? Everyone loves the roster. It's just so fun to be like any character you want. It's crazy.
yeah just do that with Mario Kart. Like let us
Mm.
race as Pikmin and let us race as Samus and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that'd be cool, man. All right, so what's your most outlandish, wacky, zany prediction for E3?
hold on, I have to I have to think of
Uh,
something good for this
I'll go
one.
first. I've actually got two because
Okay.
they're two things that I hope will happen, but they never will happen. The first one is I would love to see a new WarioWare game, but
Ah,
they've released they made like 1-2 Switch. Do you remember that game that came out at launch? Which
yeah.
basically should have been WarioWare, but they just fucking didn't do it. And
Mm,
then they made like that Clubhouse games, which is not the same thing at all.
mm.
And they've made Mario Party, but so they keep making all these like cool, like not cool, but like couch co-op party games, right? And they just keep ignoring WarioWare. So I think that franchise is just not going to come back for a while.
I, I've got one for you.
All right, okay, yeah. So you
My wacky prediction is they're gonna upgrade the Switch Lite so that it connects with the TV.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Rome. That is physically impossible.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
actually missing a chip on the board that is like a processing unit to convert the video to HDMI signal.
Oh,
So
okay, wow.
yeah, that's actually not feasible. But they could maybe like release a little adapter for it or something. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
But yeah, my other prediction was that they finally localize Mother 3.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's just a meme at this point. It won't happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, that's I guess that's some pretty good predictions. We'll see. Maybe we can tally our score when we do our live stream.
Yeah,
Um,
we can, we can keep score of that, and I guess we'll probably kind of come on a little bit early and do a little discussion right before the show starts. So
yeah.
last question I wanted to ask you before we move on to the next part of the show is, what are your thoughts about the Switch Pro? Been
Ah,
lot of
yeah.
rumors flying around.
So like I've been trying to avoid this subject because I feel
Mm,
like it's just been so it's been in the news for like 3 or 4 years. Uh, and like every few weeks you get a video online or an article about the Switch
mm.
Pro. And I just really hope they announce it so we can be done with this constant speculation.
That's a good
Uh,
answer. Yeah.
uh, but my opinion is I do think Nintendo is going to be upgrading the Switch. I'm not sure if it's going to be a Switch Pro or if it might just be that they have a new version of the Switch that like now you can connect to a 4K TV, you know. Um,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not sure if it's going to be a huge announcement like everyone's expecting. It might
Mm,
just be like the latest model of the Switch like is a little bit better, you know.
mm.
Um, but I guess that's what the Switch Pro is, right? But
Yeah, I mean, from what people are saying, I mean, I think what we need to remember is at this point, no one actually knows anything. Like, no one has an inside connection to Nintendo. No one has any like legitimate sources. Everyone says like, oh yeah, he's a trusted industry insider, but like people don't know. But I like to base my speculation off of just like Nintendo's track like record, right?
mm,
So they've got especially with the handheld consoles, they've got a kind of a history of upgrading mid like generation, right? So they had the
yeah,
DS and the DSi, and then the DS Lights, and then the 3DS, and then the new 3DS, and then like
even
all
the
those
game,
kind of
yeah, even the Game Boy. Like there was Game Boy, Game Boy Light, Game Boy Color,
true,
Advance,
yeah.
and then there was like the SP, then the SP
Mm.
with the backlight. You know, like it's
That's it, yeah. So like yeah, I mean, Advance was like a new generation from regular Game Boy, but yeah, like the light and the color were like the first generation, right? And then like SP with the backlight. So those were a bit different because they didn't really get any more powerful, but they were always improving the hardware. And I think at this point, like the Switch launched for over 4 years ago now, and at the time it launched with the processor that it has, the Tegra X1. That was 2 years old at the time. So
mm,
the processor is now, or the whole chip is like 6 years old, and we've just had
wow.
like the Xbox Series X and PS5 dropping. So all these like crazy like high tech games are coming out with like super like nice graphics,
Mm,
which Nintendo obviously doesn't care about too much because they've obviously stated as much many times. But I think they know they need to keep up. They can't let the margin get too big, right? They can't,
mm,
they can't have like Sony over here eating like Wagyu steak and then you've just got like a bowl of potatoes, just like with no
yeah,
flavor. Like you
yeah.
got to give people, something. You got to give people a little bit of flavor.
Mm,
And I think, what makes most sense for them to do is basically just relaunch the Switch with like the new version of the X1, but with the Turing, the Tensor cores, which are the processors built into the kind of the 2000 plus like series of NVIDIA cards, which allow for this DLSS, which is like deep learning
yeah.
supersampling or subsampling.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure I think everyone's pretty sure that's going to be the case, right?
mm,
If it is to be, it's got to be that, right? It's just too perfect
yeah,
for
it's such a good solution. It doesn't require any more like energy almost, and it's the only solution that would allow the console to stay the same size roughly and keep the same kind of battery life while improving the game, like the graphics quite considerably.
yeah. So I'm excited to like go back to all my old Switch games and like try them on the. Well, we don't know that it's coming yet, you know,
Well,
but
we don't know, yeah, but
it would be fun to go back and like, for instance, I was just mentioning like Fire Emblem. I really liked that game, but like it just looked terrible and ran poorly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we talked about
uh,
Age of Calamity, right? Same feeling. I played the first level and it was just like chugging along at like 20 FPS. I was just like,
yeah.
nah. Like I fucking love Zelda. I was so pumped for that game. And I just couldn't enjoy it with that experience. I don't mind 30 FPS if it's locked and it's stable, but you just couldn't run it. So like,
Yeah, and
yeah, I
I
don't know.
think I mentioned them a bunch of times, but I got a PC now that runs at 144 frames,
Mm.
and like going back to the Switch is just like going back to the dark ages. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, is it? Yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some Switch Pro stuff. So I guess yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. So there that wraps up our Nintendo Direct discussion and predictions. So let's move on to new releases for the week. So we've actually only got 2 games this week. The first being Alex Kidd in Miracle World, which yeah, kind of this one just kind of slipped by me, so I didn't realize it was coming out. But this looks awesome.
Yeah, these pixel graphics look pretty nice.
Yeah. You played the original game?
No, I don't know anything about this series.
Oh, okay. So it's a Sega game. It was one of the first games I ever owned. So I had the Master System, which was like the Famicom, like Sega equivalent console, and my version of the Master System had this game built in. So what you did is like if you press the power button without a cartridge in the console, it would load this game up instead.
Oh, really?
Which was pretty cool, yeah. Like because Nintendo never did anything like that, so that was kind of like unique to Sega. And they also, I think, they did another edition that had Sonic preloaded onto it, but I had Alex the Kid version.
And this is that this game?
Yeah.
Ah,
So it looks beautiful, actually. Yeah. So this is the original version. Like, look how janky this looks. But the new game, I really like this new style. Actually, it's very different. But
it looks good though.
yeah, it's got a nice aesthetic to it. It keeps the charm of the original as well. But it was really hard. It was a really fucking hard game.
Oh, really?
But
it looks so simple.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like Mario, you know, just like, you know, jumping around and getting items and stuff. Like, it's just like classic 90s platformer, you know?
Yeah.
They're all basically the same. But the music was awesome. So it's a bit hard to hear, obviously, because keeping the volume low as we record the podcast. But I'd recommend you, go check out the original soundtrack. It was really, really cool.
Cool, yeah. And which platforms is this on? Did they mention?
Yeah, so actually, this is the official trailer, so I thought I'd just bring this up instead. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be on all platforms: PS4, 5, Xbox, all versions, Switch, PC. I mean, you could imagine because it's a very simple kind of game, you know, compared to like these 3D games. So quite easy to port over to lots of different platforms. It looks nice, though. It's not just the graphics, but it has really like nice lighting. I don't know if you can like see that over the stream, but I like the color palette. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like the trailer as well. This is cool.
This is a lot nicer than I was expecting, actually. Oh, they have a retro mode as well, where you can play with the classic graphics.
Yeah. So I think a lot of these retro remasters do that, where it's like a one-button press and you just switch between, the new and the old version.
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad when they keep the old graphics so you can experience it that way if you like.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I think because if you don't put that version in, then for some people it's like maybe you've never had the experience, or for the people who did play it originally, like it's not that you want to play it with the old graphics, but just to be able to switch back and forth and just like appreciate how far it's come from that original time, right?
Yeah,
it's really, really cool. So well, what day does that come out?
22nd, June 22nd.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. Alex Kidd
next week. Yeah, cool. I actually might pick that up because I've got quite a bit of nostalgia for that game. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and then in our other new game coming out this week, it's Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, the official video game.
Yeah. So you can see here there's an astronaut running, there's a guy with a knight's armor punching. I assume this game was supposed to come out last year, but obviously it didn't.
Yeah. There's Where are all the masks?
Yeah, that's it. I was hoping that they would change this game and like remove the crowds. I thought that'd be really funny. If
Oh,
they just
that would.
if there was not no one in the stands.
Yeah, and everyone's got to wear a mask or something, and it's like.
Yeah, yeah.
So actually, this game was released in Japan in 2019. Yeah, July 24th, 2019, on the Switch and PlayStation. 1 year before the Olympic Games. But due to the pandemic, it was pushed back. And actually, it was pushed back 2 years. So it's just now releasing globally on Xbox, PC, Stadia, and yeah, and
that's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, like the Olympics is going to be in Japan, right? But this is a review I found online. That is in English. You can see all of the text in English, and the person is speaking in English. And I don't know if like the game just got pulled at the last minute. They were just like, they're like, oh shit, no, like pull it because like just suddenly there's like a pandemic, or like, yeah, I don't know what happened, but it's kind of funny. But
like as a game, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I guess it's a mix of different sports titles.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a bunch of these like previous like 2016, 2012, 2008 like Olympic games. And they're just a very mixed bag, you know. You can see here, like, it looks like FIFA, right? So the problem is that because they try and make like a game for each of the events of the Olympics, that they have to like get the mechanics right for like all these different types of sport, and like they don't translate right. So they're all just a bit janky, basically.
So you're getting like a big pack of janky sports.
That's a big old janky pack, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting, like, because it's the 2020 Olympics, but like obviously this is happening a year late, and the game is coming out years late. So, yeah, I guess not much to say about that. But
yeah, not too much. But that's it. Yeah. So I guess like after next week, right, we're gonna have a lot more stuff to talk about, games to announce and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, next week.
But yeah, it's always like the kind of the eye before the storm on the road to E3, or even during E3, because people don't want to release games in this week because like people won't pay attention because all the media is covering, all the big announcements. So
yeah. Well, I guess then we'll close out our episode today with some Japanese.
Yeah, let's move on to that. Yeah.
So, like as I mentioned in the beginning, I just finished Famicom Detective Club, and there's a word that pops up a lot. It's tegakari, and tegakari means a clue or hint. So, as you can imagine, being a detective, there's quite a bit of hints and clues you find along the way. And I have a few phrases just to illustrate its usage. So, tegakari o sagasu is to search for clues. So, sagasu being the verb to search, and search, so it's literally search a hint or search a clue. So, tegakari o sagasu. Yeah, but I guess the important part is the tegakari is the hint or clue. So, like, as long as you see that, you can kind of get a hint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just it's always a really simple kanji, just te, which means hand. So it's really easy to read if you're kind of just at a beginner level Japanese. And yeah, generally, if you see that word, then it gives you the gist of like, oh, okay, I should be looking for something like a clue, right?
Yeah. So definitely one you want to know. But
yeah, nice.
How
cool,
about you?
So
What's your word
mine was actually, again, from Fantasia, and a little bit easier this time. I got to this part, you basically get onto this giant airship, and you fly into this like sandstorm, basically, and the captain loses control. So you go into like the cockpit, and one of the girls you're with, she says like, Sencho, oh, we thought it is, and like, basically it means like, she's like, Captain, are you all on your own in here? Like, so like here it's just like, oh, hitori desu no? Like she's asking a question like, are you on your own? But the main word was this sencho, which is like a boat captain, or captain of the ship or something like that. So yeah, you kind of have the conversation with him. But what's really common in Japanese culture, and actually you'll see it in like games and anime and manga and stuff, is that like when people have these positions of power, sometimes you don't refer to them with their name. So, you know, I might call you like Mr. something, right? Or Mrs. something in English. But it's just like to say like Captain. But I guess kind of like we do in English, but they do it for a lot more things in Japanese. But just you just call someone Sencho if they're the captain of the ship. But also, again, what I've noticed in a lot of games, especially things like based around like war or like kind of anything with the vehicles, you know, this kanji cho, it means like superior or senior, like a leader. So it's really easy to make words or understand words with this meaning, right? So we've got sencho, which means captain, because this sen is fune, means boat, so boat captain. We've got hei, which means soldier, so soldier captain is like the leading private. We've got taicho, so tai is like a unit, an army unit or a regiment, so that's like commanding officer. And this one probably pretty common as well. Shacho, so sha means company, so it's company, you know, boss, you know, so the CEO usually, or like the top boss of a company. But there's like hundreds of these like cho words in Japanese. But I find a lot of them appear in video games, so quite useful to know, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, that's good to know. I see those a lot with like military related games, you know.
Yeah, so you'll see that kanji in loads of places. It's a really good one to learn. And again, it's a very beginner level kanji. So if anyone wants to leave me some comments, maybe let me know if you've seen it in any other games, in any other contexts, in any other job positions. I'd be interested to see what you come up with. So yeah, with the end of that section, that brings us to the end of the show. So exciting times, Ryan. We're almost
excited
on the cusp of Nintendo Direct. It's the only thing I care about this whole week.
Yeah, we've been waiting all year for it, right? Just ready to know what Nintendo's up to. So
that's it. The enigma.
all will be revealed tomorrow. So hopefully we're not too let down, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think as my overall prediction would be that it'll be a very solid Direct. There'll be nothing groundbreaking, and there'll be nothing. It won't be super disappointing. It'll just be like fine, I think.
Yeah.
It's basically what always happens. Like everyone gets too hyped up and really disappointed. So I'm not going to get hyped up. I'm just going to stay neutral and just be pleased. You know?
I know you're hyped inside though.
Inside, yeah. Just I don't reveal my full deck, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, so thanks for listening, everybody, and thanks for watching on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed or following us on whichever platform. And like I said at the beginning, if you enjoy the show, then please leave us a rating or a review if you feel like it, and let us know what you like about the show and how we can improve it. So, until next week, any closing words, Ryan?
Yeah, be good. Take care. Call your mom. See you tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't called my mom in a while. I probably should, yeah. So thanks, guys. Be sure to check back next week for the very next episode of the Japan Games Cast.